What it do, YouTube? It's your boy Eli the Rebel. I'm back in the Nat Dick scene, baby. Yup. Y'all saw me last on NCP SummerSlam. Yeah, we don't talk about that. We don't talk about that. But hey, I'm gonna do some Nat Dick vids for you guys. Real, just to kill the time and wait for the remakes to come out, things of that nature. This might be, the start of, a series of, tips and tricks, series that I might be doing in the near future. So that's why we're gonna be breaking down the NDL loan system today. It's going to be, every single Sunday. Okay, so every single Sunday I'll be making these kinds of videos. So for today's video in particular, we're gonna introduce, the NDL loan system, how it's gonna work, what are the benefits and drawbacks of it. Then we're gonna break down each and every single mon, that's going to be put out on loan, and then we'll have concluding thoughts on it, on the group as a whole. So if you guys are excited to pick up one of these guys, comment down below your favorite mon. Down below again. There's gonna be 10 mons that we're gonna break down today. So if we can get 10 likes on this, I'll put out week 2, no problem. But yeah, the NDL loan army. So what is it? So the origin of the name, actually, if you guys follow, soccer or football, whatever part of the world you're in, the loan army is what is reference to Chelsea Football Club's long lists of over 30-40 players that go sent out on loan from that said club. So that's the origin. That's where the term loan army comes from. So which leads me to the first point right here. If you've ever played FIFA career mode, right? So with the addition of buying and selling players, you can actually, loan in, loan out players onto your club for half a season, a full season, 2 seasons, whatever the length may be, and then eventually you return them back to the original club. So, I'm trying to add a brand new type of transaction in the draft league, scene. So with NDL, you have your regular, trades with other coaches. You'll have your free agency pool, right? But then you'll also have the loan system, the loan army. So instead of having season loans like you would in career mode, you would get, because obviously if I were to do that, that'd be pretty broken. You would be able to loan a Pokemon from the list for 1 game and 1 game only. And then once that 1 game is over, you either get your original drop back or pick up the new edition permanently. So I'd like to mention this to all the NDL viewers that are watching this right now. Like, turn up your volume. Like, this is very important. If you pick up a mon for loan, you are not forced to use it in said battle. Okay? So you could pick this up and you'll try to build a nice set for that particular game, but if it doesn't end up working, then that's fine. Then you play the game without the loan Pokemon, and you return it back. Okay? However, there will be times where a loan will play the first game or whatever game the loan will be for, right? Because week 1 loans will only be good for week 1. Week 2 will have a brand new list. Week 3, so on and so forth. If you do end up liking that Pokemon, you can lock it in and make it a permanent member of your team. And there is going to be some benefits and drawbacks to this system we're going to go over right now. So every mon that is going to be listed that I'm going to break down, they will go down the tier for that particular week. So we're gonna see, for this week, I will say there will be 2 mons from tier 1 being that you can loan at tier 2 value. Okay, tier 2 mons will be tier 3 loans. They'll go down to tier 3 of them. Then there'll be 3 from tier 3 going down to tier 4, and then the last 2 will be tier 4s going down to tier 5, which is really, really good because mons that don't get undrafted may become, you know, viable in the tier below where they originally were. So there's that. You can use the system as many weeks as possible. So there's a 7-week season in the NDL. So you could use it, you could not use it at all, or you could use it every single week. And the even crazier part is you can even pick up multiple loans and put them on your squad if you want. So basically, you know, you have a list of 10 mons, right? And you know, like the benefit says, if you move fast enough, you can pick up, you know, more than one of these mons. You can add 2, 3, 5 of these mons, loan them out all for yourself, and then do whatever you want with it, return them, keep them, whatever. But which leads me to my first drawback. It is first come first serve though. So going back to the idea that you could, you know, pick up, that you can loan 2 or 3 Pokemon to try out. If you don't post the transaction in the Discord, then I hate to break it to you, I can't hold a mon hostage, you know, just for you. I can't reserve it for you. It's up for grabs for everybody. So you gotta type it in. You gotta type in what you want first. Okay. Loans aren't guaranteed to be seeded in later weeks. I'm going to try and, you know, spice up the list. So let's say a mon that you see for week 1 doesn't look really good for week 1, but you wanna see it, you know, week 4, 5, 6. I can't guarantee that for you. I'm going to switch up the list and bring different mons and break, you know, just to give them some light, things of that nature. And then lastly, this is probably the biggest thing. So a lot of people are going to look at loans as, you know, mons being cheaper, and they want to keep them for themselves. However, it's going to cost 2 out of your 5 total transactions. So in NDL, you get 5 total transactions. So trades and free agency combined, you can only make 5 moves to your team now that the draft is over. However, if you loan a Pokemon and decide to keep it, it's going to cost 2 of your total transactions because 1, you're picking up a brand new mon, and 2, you're picking it up a tier below than what it originally was. So that's why we're gonna make it 2 out of the 5 total transactions. So without further ado, let's break down the first 2 mons on the loan list. They were originally tier 1s, and they're gonna go to tier 2 this week, and this week only. Tapu Bulu and Keldeo. First, we're going to break down Tapu Bulu because I think Tapu Bulu is a very interesting case for a tier 2. I personally see it as, you know, a mon that, you know, runs as a grass type, because one of the drawbacks for, you know, Bulu is, you know, your only fairy move being Dazzling Gleam. I'm not even sure if it even gets Moonblast, but with the 85 special attack, even if it did have Moonblast, it wouldn't hit that hard, to be honest with you. Out of all the Tapus, when the Crown Tundra first came out, I think Tapu Bulu just got robbed the most, for 2 reasons, right? So on top of not getting the fairy move, Come on, Eli. Let's get it together. Tapu Bulu still only has Dazzling Gleam as its fairy move. We'll just say that. Play it safe, okay? And part of the reason for that is that the Crown Tundra was rumored for all the Tapus to have Play Rough and Close Combat. And unfortunately, Play Rough and Close Combat were only given to Tapu Fini and Tapu Lele. So Coco missed out on Play Rough and CC, and Tapu Bulu missed out on Play Rough and CC. And on top of that, right, they gave the other Grassy Surger, Rillaboom, Grassy Glide, which is a 70 base power move grass move, +1 priority in the terrain. And, you know, Rillaboom with Grassy Surge can set the terrain for himself and can click Glide. Bulu can set up terrain via Grassy Surge. It is the OG Grassy Surge Pokemon, but it cannot Grassy Glide. So Bulu is easily the most robbed Pokemon, the most robbed Tapu out of all the Tapus. But it still has viability, believe it or not. It's obviously a bulkier Rillaboom, as you can see. The 115 Fizdef and 195 Spidef is a lot bulkier than what Rillaboom would be packing. And also Rillaboom has a very tough time, you know, 1v1ing the bulkier flying types. Bulu has rock coverage to catch the flying types on the switch too. So I think Tapu Bulu to tier 2 is something that everyone should be looking at. Again, my suggestion would be it's a really good grass type. You would probably need another fairy type, you know, particularly one that gets play rough. And then you add Tapu Bulu as a grass type. Grass types are still very valid in draft, simply because they're one of the few typings that can resist Earthquake, and actually Grassy Surge actually cuts the power of the move Earthquake in half. But you can still be able to resist things like, you know, Earth Power and all that, and all the other non-Earthquake moves. Now, we go from a Mon that you'll never see in tier 2 most of the time, to a Mon that's tier 2 pretty much all the time. And I was surprised that no one picks this thing up. It's Keldeo. I personally love Keldeo. I think Keldeo is broken, especially with, you know, the new move, you know, Flip Turn, making its, you know, Specs and Scarf sets, you know, being able to, you know, have momentum via Flip Turn is very, very nice. You know, when I was in LET Great Ball, it played what, 9 games and got 18 kills. like whoa, Keldeo, calm down. It has versatility in the sense that, you know, you can run Specs Scarf sets, you can run the Calm Mind taunt sets, right? However, unfortunately, Keldeo does not hit the 110 base speed or higher. It's only 108. I think if Keldeo had like 115 speed, I think it could make a case for tier 1. It would definitely stay tier 1 in my opinion, but that's just my opinion. Obviously, you know, I mentioned the spec set earlier with 129 special attack. You know, the Scalds will be strong. The Scalds will be strong. The Surfs will be surfing. I'm not a big Hydro Pump guy. The accuracy on Hydro Pump not the greatest, but you can run that too. And also what's hurting Keldeo is the fact that its only ice move, you know, to hit the you know, the bulkier grasses and the bulkier flying types is still Icy Wind. Now, Icy Wind, you know, 95 accuracy is still solid. When it does hit, it guarantees, you know, your speed, the opposition's speed to drop a stage. So you have some speed control as well. But 55 base power isn't itchy. It only does so much. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, something like, let's say, AV Tangrowth, you know, can eat Icy Wind no problem, and then regen that off later. But what about Air Slash? Yeah, but then you want to lose the Zapdos then? You want to? I mean, you'll flinch out. You could flinch out the, you know, the Tangrowth, but then Zapdos comes in and just takes that no problem. And then that's a free Volt switch. Or if you go into your, let's say, you know, your X controller, your Mega Steelix, and then get Heat Waved on the switch. You know, it's not a. I mean, a lot of people were telling me this mon is supposed to be tier 2. Because I've had really good success with it, I just put it in tier 1 so that way, you know, because it does deserve the respect that it does. But you know, I think tier 2 isn't the end of the world. I think Keldeo can be played around properly, with good team composition and with the correct plays. So those are the tier 2 loans for this week. We're gonna go over to the tier 3 loans. There's gonna be 3 of them, and they're coming from tier 2. Here we go. Drap with the strap is the first one. You know what I'm saying? Drapion is, you know, one of those mons that, you know, under the right circumstances, it could be very offensive and a very good breaker, or a cleaner for that matter. The main ability to focus on here is the sniper ability. So when you do get the crit, the power of the move is 1.5 times boosted. So your cross poisons hit like trucks when they crit. Your night slashes hit like trucks when they crit. But you'll still get, you know, but you still have also, you know, your poison jabs, your knockoffs of the world, right? It can SD with that 90 attack. It hits super hard. You also have, you know, agility sets. So at 95, with 95 base speed, after an agility, I think you can outspeed things like Regieleki, pretty much. I would hope so. I would hope so. Its one weakness is ground. But with 110 physical defense, if you put it in a grassy terrain team, or if it holds a Shuka Berry, it can take the hit. It can take the hit no problem. And in the words of the wise Kyle A, it is one of the best knockoff users. You know why? Because of T spikes. That's right, folks. This mon gets T spikes. Everybody says Stealthrax is the best hazard of all time, but the problem is that, like, you know, it's such an easy button to click early on, and then somebody's gonna defog or rapid spin those away, which kind of makes, you know, getting rocks up turn 1 kind of pointless. And also there's things called heavy duty boots going around, so, you know. But I think, in my opinion, like, because people prep for Stealth Rock so much, they'll tend to forget about, you know, things like regular spikes and T spikes and even sticky webs for that matter. So Drapion is a very solid toxic spiker. It's all, did I mention it was, you know, part poison type, part dark type? So if you actually click toxic with it, you'll never miss. So there, you got that going for itself. So yeah, Drap with the strap, tier 3, cop it, absolutely cop if you can. Next we got, we go from a purple boy to a little, I think it's like, do you call this fuchsia? I don't know if you call this fuchsia, but this shiny Heracross right here, tier 3. I like to call this speed tier right here, I call it the Chandelure Gardevoir disease. Okay, base 85 speed, you slap a scarf on it, it's you're zooming, right? But if you don't, like, sometimes it's too slow without the scarf. But then, like, because there's 3 good abilities this thing has, okay? Guts, Moxie, Swarm, all viable abilities in my opinion. So the problem with not holding Scarf is that you're gonna be locked into a move every time. You want to click buttons, you want to hold the Flame Orb, you want to get the Guts boost, you want to click Facade and all these wonderful moves, right? But 85 speed sometimes is a little too slow. 95 Speed Def, 75 Fizz Def. Obviously, you know, it can tank a hits, but not multiple hits. From my experiences, the main selling point, obviously, the 125 base attack. Guts, boosting your attack. When this Pokemon is status, 1.5x. This thing's gonna hit like a truck. And the final reason why I put this one down tier 3, I was debating whether this or Diggersby would go down to tier 3, and in the end I figured that Diggersby is going to click spikes more than Heracross, simply because huge power, is always going to be the ability Diggersby is going to rock. And, having your attack go from like 211 to 422, let's say, it is ridiculous. It is ridiculous. So, Diggersby is going to force a lot of switches, and as a result of that, you'll be able to click spikes more freely. Heracross doesn't really do that as well. It actually recently got spikes this generation alone. I don't know. I mean, it's cool, I guess, but, I don't see it clicking spikes as much. So, those are the reasons why Heracross is tier 3 now, which is fine, for me. It is what it is, you know what I mean? I'm not tripping over that. But, this third mon that we're gonna go over, if you thought Trap with the Strap and Heracross were bargains, this might be highway robbery for some. And that is Staraptor. Staraptor is the most BL Knight of all time. I think it's been BL like since its introductory generation in Gen 4. Intimidate is obviously the main selling ability, but Reckless is also still very valid under the right circumstances. So Reckless, you're getting the 1.2 power boost to recoil moves, so your Brave Birds and Double Edges are going to hit a lot harder, of course. It's obviously the most frail compared to the other two tier 3 loans on this list. 70 Fizz Def, 60 Spit F. Yeah, okay. But what about the 85 HP? Nah, you're only using that HP stat, to click, Final Gambit turn 1 on some Victini, on some Excelgor type beats, which leads me to my next point of why Staraptor is being loaned out in the first place. It has move slot syndrome. You want to click Brave Bird, you want to click Return, you want to click Double Edge, you want to click Close Combat, U-turn, things like that, but you only have 4 moves at a time. That's the thing of the game. You can only bring 4 moves at a time, and Staraptor suffers from move slot syndrome. And if you compare it to another bird, the Gen 3 bird before this one was Swellow, and a lot of people love Swellow at tier 3. It's a bird that, birds are typically, on the faster side of the spectrum. So expect your birds to be, 110 speed or higher. And Swellow does that, but Staraptor doesn't. As you can see, it's only base 100. So I think that's why nobody really picks it up on tier 2 like that. It's a very strong, hard-hitting bird, but it's not fast enough to where people will say, oh, I'm absolutely getting this, I'm gonna fill out my speed tier with Staraptor. Nobody really says that. But I think at tier 3 it could put in a ton of work. So Staraptor tier 3, please check it out. Please consider getting Staraptor tier 3. Trust me, big trust. So those are your 3 tier 3 loans. Now we're gonna do 3 tier 4 loans from tier 3. Y'all ready? Let's start with Articuno Galar. I think Articuno Galar is the most disrespected bird out of the trio. Okay, so you have Zapdos Galar, you have Moltres Galar. They get picked up a lot in draft, but nobody really picks up Articuno Galar. And why is that? One of the selling points for me for Articuno Galar is, you know, competitive. So a lot of people remember Defiant, where if something is dropped, you boost the attack. But nobody really talks about. But competitive is basically the same thing, but with special attack. You go up 2 stages, so it punishes Intimidate, it punishes Defog, things of that nature. It's really solid ability. It's people just forget about this thing. They really do, and they also forget that this is the only bird with self-recovery out of the 3. The other 2 birds need to run Rest Sleep Talk or Resto Chesto. You know what I mean? This bird gets recovered. Now, I personally believe they will fix this. These birds will get Defog and Roost through the Gen 4 move tutor. In my opinion, but that's another topic for another day. But recover on Articuno Galar is really solid. And it does get recover because it's a psychic type. That's probably the reasoning behind it. It is a psychic type with recovery, with the move recover itself. Its signature move, Freezing Glare, is a psychic type ice beam, so it has a 10% chance to freeze. So you know, if you're lucky, you may click the button. You may never know, right? It also gets Expanding Force, so Calm Mind, Expanding Force, recover sets in psychic terrain teams are very cool as well. And I look at the spread, I look at the stat spread here. I completely forgot about the stat spread here. It's very balanced. Even the lower, even the 85 like attack, like, you know, you could have banded U-turn sets to break down the pesky dark types that want to switch in and gain momentum that way. So Articuno Galar for tier 4, very nice. And this is a mon that needs more love for sure. Another mon that needs more love for sure from the generation prior, Fluffy Boy beware. Look at 120 HP, you look at 125 attack, you look at you know, Fluffy. As I alluded to already, Fluffy is the ability that softens the contact moves by half, which is very nice. You pair that with the 80 physical defense. It's a tank. The downside is that you're you know, you have an added weakness in fire, but hey, I think Beware is a mon that, you know, can act as, you know, a bulk up sweeper under the right matchup. It can work as a phenomenal banded breaker. You know, banded double edge, banded close combat. You click Darkest Lariat on the switch. It's fantastic. It is fantastic as a breaker. You can even you know, you don't even need ban some weeks. Some weeks you can just fake the ban by adding, you know, a resist berry and then just hitting it, and then just hitting the opposition harder that way. So, you know, Beware is a mon that I thought was going to get drafted in this tier. I've seen it drafted in this tier before. I was really surprised that no one picked it up in NDL, but you know what? We're gonna put it in tier 4 alone. Put some respect on the bear's name. That's all I gotta say. Duh, bear. Okay. Now we go from a bear to a lion in Pyroar. Now, the thing with Pyroar that people do not like about this thing is the fact that it gets Moxie. Moxie, like we discussed about with Heracross before, you know, well, I discussed Guts more, but Moxie basically boosts your attack stat after, you know, if you pick up a kill with it, if you pick up a direct kill with it. So, but the problem is that, you know, Pyroar has 68 base attack. Its selling points are 106 speed and 109 special attack. So it's a very good Scarfer. I'm not sure. You gotta double check the moves, the leaked moves list. Link will be in the description. But I'm pretty sure it has flame. It either has flame charge or it's leaked to have flame charge when it does come out in this generation. So you can run nasty plot flame charge as a cleanup set. Obviously, you know, being part normal type, you know, it's going to have fantastic coverage, but fire and normal is such a unique typing because, you know, let's say, you know, you click hyper voice. A lot of things that would be resisting hyper voice are, you know, steel types. So you break them down with, you know, the fire move the next turn, right? Your only real problem would be rock types that will be switching into both of those moves. Then you just have you know, like grass knot or something. You know what I mean? For the pesky rock types, if you know a bulky rock decides to show up for a Pyro game. Again, the two main selling points on why you should pick up tier 4 Pyro, again, 106 speed, 109 special attack. You know, actually the better you know, ability for this thing outside of Moxie would be Unearth. So if anyone is trying to hold, you know, Aka berries or, you know, Rindo berries, whatever the case may be, Pyro just says no to that and then just clicks the move for free. So those are your tier 4 loans, and we're going to move on to the final 2 mons that will be going from tier 4 to tier 5. First, let's talk about Reboot real quick. So Reboot is an interesting case. So we've seen Thwacky get picked up in tier 5, but I really thought people would pick up Reboot as a tier 4 fire type with Libero. You know, Cinderace Libero is tier 1. That's another topic for another day. But Libero Reboot still is pretty solid. Being able to, you know, have, you know, stab, fighting moves, bug moves, dark moves, all with a click of a button is very, very, very nice. 86 attack, 94 speed. You can run Ban, you can run Scarf, things of that nature. The moves that it's missing, you know, from still being a middle stage bunny to being a big bunny. Obviously, you're not gonna have, you know, the Pyro Ball and the Zen Headbutt, but you'll still get the U-turn, the Sucker Punch, the high jump kick, and then actually you'd be forced to be running Flare Blitz, but that's fine. That's fine. Flare Blitz hits like a truck, and it doesn't miss. You know what I mean? Pyro Ball is a physical Fire Blast, and Fire Blast can miss sometimes. Pyro Ball can miss sometimes, and you only get 8 of those, so you better make those 8 count. So, you know, if you were looking to grab a Cinderace, or if you just simply don't like your Cinderace missing Pyro Balls, go with a Reboot, in my opinion. Go grab a band, go slap a band on, or slap a Scarf, Flare, and let Flare Blitz Bunny do the thing. This is A Boogie with the hoodie, by the way. Okay, let it be known. Put some respect on A Boogie with the hoodie's name. Okay, the last mon of the video does not need an introduction. You know, I really wish I had Sherry Davis with me to explain this one. This is a Sherry Davis staple. For real. You know, kind of like what with Reboot. All you need to do with this mon, just slap a band or slap a Scarf and wrap it up, folks. It's none other than, you know, the Toucan himself, the Toucanon. Come on now. Two abilities, two very, very good abilities. The first one being Skill Link. Skill Link, you know, obviously, you know, your multi-hit moves will be maxed out. So your Bullet Seeds, your Tail Slaps will be, you know, will hit all 5 times, because remember, they range from 2 to 5. Skill Link makes it so that way they always hit 5 times. No big deal, right? Then you have the other ability, which is Sheer Force. So Sheer Force, you know, nullifies the secondary effect of a move, and you know, boost and makes it 1.3x power. You can also slap a Life Orb on. Sheer Force will nullify Life Orb recoil, as well. So, it can be a breaker and a cleaner thanks to its 2 great abilities. And, it's not only a bird, it's also a normal type. Again, normal types have the best coverage known to man. Obviously, your returns and your brave birds are gonna hit as hard. You're not gonna see Beak Blast that much. The spread, the bulk on this thing, maybe you could get away with Beak Blast 1 game, but it's not something you're gonna bring every single week. It's really an offensive, banded or scarf Pokemon. 60 speed with a scarf can actually outspeed some things in certain matchups. But a bulky band with 120 base attack, it's going to hit like a monster. Yeah, I think that no. There's no further explanation. No further explanation from me. We're gonna look at the complete loan list. So, you're going to notice I'm gonna try to make them, theme related. Obviously I couldn't do a theme. I mean, I tried to make it, the Fantastic Four fighters as like the theme. I mean, because technically, like, Reboot is a fighting type when it clicks high jump kick. That was the theme that I was trying to stretch, but you know what? We're gonna figure out a theme for week 2's list. This is the full list right here. So these 10 mons for you NDL people, please check them out. They're really cool mons to try out. It was kind of my bad that I put them this expensive, but if I didn't put things more expensive, we wouldn't have this system to begin with. So shout outs to that. Shout outs to me. I know. Come on now. But yeah, if you're not an NDL person, you can follow along with the link of the main sheet down in the description. Shout out to my doc people, Ryder, Radioactive Male. They are doing wonderful job for me behind the scenes when I'm away. Updating this doc. It's really beautiful the way it is right now, and it was such a process. I cannot thank them enough. I can't thank Ryder enough for starting it up, and then having additional help from Mayo is really cool to have as well. I really thought that NDL would die off, but I'm glad that I could that I've been trying to fix it, and one of the major things of fixing the tier list as a whole is having a loan system where we're gonna put some mons that are too expensive down a tier and see if people want to try them out. So that's it for me, man. I'll see you guys next week. It's been your boy Eli the Rebel. I'll catch you guys next week on Sunday. Deuces!